Friends, we are discussing regarding the performance measurement systems. In previous session, we have studied about the traditional performance measurement system. In this session also we will discuss limitation of traditional performance measure, and then we will define what are the various functions of performance measurement system. And the new approach which has come in 1990 only, that is balanced scorecard. That is very innovative technique to measure the performance of an organization, because simultaneously balanced scorecard take care of 4 dimensions. So let us see how you will make the balanced scorecard, or what is the look of a balanced scorecard. The first measure in an organization is the inventory. The usual categories of inventory in manufacturing are raw material, that is the material to which the manufacturer has not yet added value. Work in process, materials to which the manufacturer has added some value but still has more to add. First you have a raw material, then you have a work in process. Third is your finished good. When you add more value in work in process, you find the finished good. Goods ready for shipment to the customer with no further more value to be added is known as finished good. The following measures can be applied to each or all of these inventory categories, that is the days of inventory. Days of inventory is equal to quantity of inventory divided by the demand. That is one of the most important measurement of the inventory. Inventory, the measure represent, which we have defined, inventory turnover. It measures and represent how many days of production or sales can be maintained solely from the inventory. All things equal, the smaller the DOI or the inventory turnover, the more efficiently the inventory is being used. The quantity of inventory figure is best determined from a physical count of items on hand, and that is the number of unit, container, pounds and the cubic feet. Demand should be estimated using most recent daily rates at which an item is pushed or pulled through the system. Specifically, demand for raw materials and WIP should be the rate at which items are consumed to make finished output and the finished output rate. And the finished output rate should be the rate necessary to satisfy the customer demand. That means there should be no stock out and there should not be the unsold item. Now, how you will calculate the days of inventory? The days of inventory or inventory turnover is the average inventory investment into days per year divided by the annual cost of goods sold. Remember, where the inventory investment and the cost of goods sold are obtained from the balance sheet and the income statement respectively. Now let us define setup time. In few slides, what I am doing, I am just explaining a term which is useful in understanding the performance measurement system. For example, setup time. It is the time between when the final unit of one batch production run or continuous job is finished and the first acceptable unit of the next batch is finished. That is the setup time. Lead time. Lead time is a measure of overall performance because it takes into account what happens throughout the organization. And if I explain in a very simple language, when you raise a order and you receive an item, there is a time in between these two activities. The difference between these two times is known as lead time. Layout. Nowadays, the focus is on the layout because we do not want any space remain unutilized. Among the general ways to assess the facility layout are in terms of utilization of space and the distance traveled. The two ratios are the measures of the space. Assembly space per product, that is the total square footage of space in assembly area divided by number of units in assembly process. These measures correlate with the cost of space. Firms with higher assembly space per product usually also have higher plant overhead expenses and higher production cost than those with lower assembly space per product. And you will also appreciate when you are using a larger area of space, definitely you are increasing your overhead cost. Another important measure is equipment. Enlightened measures of equipment shift emphasis from machines doing the most work to be capable of doing the work when the work is needed and in the best possible way. That means if you are allocating any particular component on a machine, that machine should be best capable of handling that particular component. These measures can be applied to individual piece of equipment or on average to all equipment in an organization. Quality. As a common man, quality means what I like according to my perception. Quality can be measured in numerous ways. The most common being is the scrap cost, rework cost, warranty cost, inspection, and other rework cost, as I have also pointed out, inspection cost. All these comes under the quality control or the quality. The biggest omission is the failure to consider the consumer, what quality means to the customer, how well product and services meets customer expectations, where the organization falls behind, and what should be done to meet the customer needs. To maintain a strong quality position, an organization needs two separate but integrated set of measures: process focused and the customer focused. Another important measures is process focused. In case of process focused, it measures stress on aspect of quality pertaining to the organization. These measures are largely transport to the customer or transparent to the customer. These measures include quality of material, quality of component, subcontract parts, service, process of organization, and the final output. Friends, after process focused, Let us concentrate on customer focus. Customer focus measures stress on the quality which satisfy the customer. These measures include number of customer complaints, number of customer returns, percentage of delivery on time, percentage of delivery that are correct. If you read newspaper, you will find plenty of examples when the companies are returning the product or taking back the product. Nokia, Motorola, Maruti, there are so many examples when the company is showing how much customer focus is the company. Customer opinion about the product or service quality level regarding the feature that they think are very important. Whenever you visit any dealer shop, you will find a salesperson or sales clerk who will always come to you and ask that what features do you expect in the future car. Now, what are the principles of enlightened measures? In general, enlightened measures of performance are characterized by their focus on competitiveness, emphasis on common sense, and the emphasis on long-term improvement. Now, competitive focus means world-class organization provide product and services that meet the expected quality measures, flexibility, innovation, and the cost established by the competitive environment. Meeting such standard determines the competitive ability of an organization, and the same standard must be used to assess in its overall performance. If I take example, flexibility can be measured by the average number of jobs mastered by employees, setup time, or average time to produce a new product. If you recall, traditional measures does not measure the competitiveness. Now, how you will give emphasis on the common sense? In enlightened measures, always there is a clear way towards greater reliance of physical indicator of measurement. Containers of inventory, setup time, number of parts, number of defects are the physical measures which are standard earned dollars, and hours variance are contrived measures. Physical measures are often visible on the shop floor and can be acted upon without waiting for the second report. For example, a line worker holding a defective item is also able to detect and correct it. Contrived measures might have meaning to a manager, but usually not to a person on the shop. How you will put emphasis on the common sense measures? Common sense measures comprehension of criteria measures alone. It does not mean the measure will be valid, and there are many examples of traditional measures to prove it. For example, the usual way to evaluate the proposed piece of equipment is to compare its cost with the direct labor saved. The criteria is return on investment. Return on investment means analyzed cost saving divided by capital equipment cost. Emphasis on common sense measures means application that ignores certain important factors. For example, savings made in terms of manpower are more flexible as it can be easily diverted to some other areas. But it is difficult to quantify such savings because there are several factors which are ignored. Now, how you will go for the long-term investment? The process of decision making must be weighted in the context of immediate performance as well as long-term consequences. Traditional financial measures often follows trend towards immediate economic performance while ignoring the long-term result. An organization that remains static in a world that demands continuous improvement certainly loses its market in long run. Hence, the leader of the organization should ensure their survival by investing in the future. The leader should collect the relevant data by monitoring various activities such as productivity, quality, equipment availability, setup time, lead time. Every sub-unit should be examined. Every unit should be examined, and because every unit or sub-unit need the improvement, need adequate attention, and requisite measures must be taken. Now, if we make point-wise point for emphasis on the long-term investment, we have to link daily operation to the strategic objective. We should make a balance between the financial and non-financial measures. We should try to improve the decision-making capabilities. We should try to motivate workers and the managers. And the most important thing is the identification and elimination of waste. We have to try to measure what is important to the customer. We should try to accelerate the organizational learning. Now, what are the functions of performance measurement system? Every manufacturer's mission is to buy raw material from vendor, transform them in a factory into a needed product, and then deliver these values added items to the customer. Most of them perform this mission very poorly and make losses. And the prime reason is that they ignore the competition and the effectiveness. They routinely and pile up them in the inventory. To indicate the competitive status of any production system, following are the functions of performance measurement system. For example, piling of inventory. It is an indication of poor performance. Another important point that how you will make different functions. Just like we have to make balance between financial and non-financial measures. Now, how you will establish the performance measurement system? In order to establish performance measure system, one should start with a review of current measurement system. This includes the following activities, just like documenting the current activities, confirming strategic objective, identifying success factors critical for meeting objective, identifying manufacturing process trend affecting the company, determining a new and revised performance measures, and comparing current and proposed measures. Friends, we are discussing about the performance measurement system. There must be a question in your mind how you will establish a performance measurement system. When you establish a system, you need to identify the criteria to measure. Measurement may be periodic, may be daily, in the context of the current business need, as today's measure may not satisfy the need of the future environment. There are 8 performance measures of any production system, just like manufacturing lead time, work in process, machine utilization, throughput, capacity, flexibility, performability, and quality. When we discuss a new technique, this is a balance scorecard. Robert S. Kaplan and David P. Norton introduced balance scorecard in the year 1992. Balance scorecard is a performance measurement system that enables organizations to clarify their vision and strategy and translate them into action. It provides feedback around both internal business processes and the external outcome in order to continuously improve strategic performance and the result. When fully implemented, the balance scorecard transforms strategic planning from an academic exercise into the nerve center of the enterprise. Friends, we are discussing about the balance scorecard. As I mentioned you that balance scorecard act as a nerve center of an organization. There are 4 perspectives of a balance scorecard, which I am going to show you in the next slide. These are the 4 perspectives of the balance scorecard, just like learning and growth, internal process, financial perspective, then business performance. All these comes as a 4 perspective of a balance scorecard. Now we will see one by one, just like what is meant by financial step. We always think how our shareholders want to see us. That, or in other words, how do we look to our shareholders? Either we may look as a weak, moderate, or very strong financial condition. Internal business process. What must be excelled? In what are the areas where we can put our inputs? Learning and growth. Can we continue to improve and create value? That means how we can grab the market, because there are so many competitors. How we will go for a growth, how we will go for our learning. Then finally, customer. How do customer see us? If we are talking about the customers see us in our products. This is an actual balance scorecard which will provide you the vision and strategy. Just like at the top it is finance, at the bottom learning and growth. On the one side there is an internal business process and other side your finance. So you will see that all these are your internal business process. All these comes as a 4 perspective vision for a balance scorecard. Now, how you will create a balance scorecard? Depending on the work area, a scorecard can be developed. Let us take an example of an education institute. Most colleges and universities have a mission or vision statement in place that sets out in a broad terms the goals of the institution. It is within the context of these goals that an institution must decide what it will benchmark and what performance it measures, a process that Kaplan and Norton describe as translating a vision. because it is very important for any organization or education institute. First define the vision, then how you will achieve that vision with the help of your mission, and then you have a balanced scorecard. The 4 vision or the mission, with the help of that you want to achieve that particular vision. Similarly, I have taken one example of National Institute of Foundry and Forge Technology, which is a lone institute of its own kind in the Asian subcontinent that has a vision of becoming internationally recognized in the field of foundry and forge and delivering service to the society. This has been translated into the 5 specific organizational areas deemed necessary to achievement of the vision. For example, academic excellence, that means contribution to the creation of knowledge. Student learning experience, how effectively does the institute transfer knowledge to the students? Here the teachers will come, here the infrastructure will come, here the support services will also come. Diversity, how well does the institute broaden and strengthen its community by making the diversity. Outreach and engagement, how effectively does the institute transfer knowledge to the industrial community. Resource management, how well does the institute develop and manage the resources. Now, on the basis of these input, we have to create a balanced scorecard. Based on these broadly accepted articulation of the vision, an academic scorecard can be developed by identifying long-term strategic objectives associated with each of these organizational areas. Each objective will in turn have a specific performance measures that indicate progress towards attaining improvement in the design performance area. I am going to give you a table which will provide an example of a scorecard. It may be not clear, but if you just see your text in the self-instructional material, you can recall all these activities from there also. This is the example of a balanced scorecard and the associated objective. In the middle, you have an objective, while on the right side you have an indicator. On that side you have a certain criteria. Before ending the session, let us define few keywords. Just like balanced scorecard, it is a set of measures that gives the top manager a fast but comprehensive view of business. Manufacturing lead time of a product is the total time required to process the product from the manufacturing plant or through the manufacturing plant. Work in process, any item which is unfinished. Therefore, work in process or WIP is the amount of semi-finished product currently resident on the factory floor. Throughput is generally expressed as a hourly or daily production rate, the number of parts produced per hour or day. Capacity. Plant capacity is defined as the maximum possible output of the transformation process the plant is able to produce over the specified duration. Flexibility. Flexibility is an important yet unquantifiable aspect of any manufacturing system. The main thing about the flexibility is how fast or how easy is adoption of some technology or demand is known as the flexibility. In this session, we have covered counterproductive influence of traditional system and performance criteria on long-term organizational competitiveness. We have also covered new world view of business, the world-class word view and the enlightened criteria measures that represents the word view. Feature of performance measurement system for implementing enlightened measures are also discussed well. We have also discussed about the balance scorecard, its 4 perspectives of a balance card that we have discussed. Then we have also given how you will draw the balance scorecard. Friends, it is not easy to draw the balance scorecard because you should have a knowledge of finance, you should have the knowledge of learning, internal business and the overall business or the customer perspective you need. Then only you can able to make the balance scorecard. Thank you.